Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Gwent, and today we're playing the new Battle Rush seasonal event, which is an alternate game mode in which we have just 8 seconds to take our turn and 15 seconds to choose our cards in between rounds. That is lightning fast, which means you need a deck that plays fast. But don't worry, I've got you covered. Let's go give it a look. So today we'll be playing a Skellige Patricidal Fury deck, and the overarching idea is very simple. Deal damage to everything. That includes our opponents, and that also includes us. One of the keys in the Battle Rush event is that you have cards that do things quickly and easily without requiring a bunch of clicks. That way, if you have just 8 seconds to take your turn, you're not at risk of not having enough time to play cards, or not having enough time to use the order abilities on your cards. So for that reason, most of our cards here either have deploy abilities or automatically do things at the end of our turn and don't require that we do any additional clicks. First, let's start with damaging our opponents with things like the Craite Longship. We also have the classic Sukrus plus Arnaghad combo, capable of taking out a bunch of cards once we get down to 4 cards or fewer in our hand. Then we can also deal damage with Offering to the Sea, as well as Wild Boar of the Sea, and Regis, both of which are great finishers. But that's not all, because we have cards that get boosted whenever we deal damage to our opponents. The Warcrier, if our opponent has a unit that's already damaged on the board. The Greatsword will get healed whenever we deal damage. And Dagur will get boosted whenever we deal damage. Then we also have some cards that we actually want to damage on our side of the board, such as Olaf, because once he gets damaged a lot, we can use his order to boost him up. So this is one of our few order abilities, so just make sure that you allot yourself enough time to use this. Similarly, the Dracoturtle is another card that we actually want to damage on our side of the board. Similarly, the Armored Drakkar, as those will all get boosted whenever we deal damage to them. And the Shieldmaien will summon the other Shieldmaien out from our deck whenever she gets damaged. And so we already looked at Offering of the Sea that can do self-damage, but there's also the Hermit, as well as Svalblod Priest to make that happen. And because we're damaging both our opponents and ourselves, that makes the Bear Witcher Mentor another great potential finisher. So there's a look at the deck, and like I said, overall it is very simple. Just damage everything, including, sometimes, even yourself. And fortunately, this deck plays really quickly, which makes it a perfect fit for this event. So let's go see it in action. Alright, going up against monsters here. And we'll go first. Okay, so we have a good setup to deal damage to our opponent here. We have some self-damage with some cards that like to get self-damaged. So I think this can work. We might even stick with this as is. Only ever want to have one Shieldmaien, and we do have precisely one Shieldmaien in our hand. So that's the one potential thing we want to make sure we're keeping an eye out for. Then it's Aridin. Oh, they were Blood Scent. That surprises me a bit that that's the direction they're taking. Why don't we go with a Shieldmaien in this melee row so that that is the thing that takes damage, because that's a card that we want to take damage. Could also put Olaf there. That might be our next play. Wild Hunt Bruiser. Oh, darn. Yeah, that's smart. The armor as well denies us the Bloodthirst. Okay, I think we do go with another Longship here. They are, well, I was going to say, likely to use their leader ability to move it out, but again, they're Blood Scent. They're not going White Frost, despite having Aridin. Not liking them denying all this Bloodthirst, though. That is not ideal. Aridin is damaged, however, which means the Warcrier does work here. We'll give that a little bit of time to get boosted up. And the question now becomes, do we have enough time for Svalblod Priest plus Olaf? Oh, well, I don't like that either. Let's go Svalblod Priest. Let's activate the Magic Lamp, because you do have armor, so at least for one turn, this is no downside. Another Hideous Feast. That's not so bad there, but now let's go Olaf. Still some questions as to whether there's enough time for this to be worth doing, because this is one of our bigger cards. Okay, it's another Fledder. Are playing some big stuff for what it's worth. And they don't have time to get that one damaged. Rather, to do the bleed to get it boosted up. We might go with another Svalblod cultist here and just do chain cultists. That does give us just enough time to keep on playing here, pacing-wise. Which buys us a little more time to give Olaf some boosts. Oriana, don't have a ton of setup for her, for what it's worth. Don't have great Regis setup here. We'd rather not play Arnaghad. I'm thinking this might very well be our last turn. So we do this. We do this. And, well, it is not as much of a lead as we would like to have in this situation. They have done a really good job of denying us the Bloodthirst. Oriana, oh, I think we're still good here. I think we're still good here. We are. They can be a little scared there, but we take the round 1 win. Okay, so we did play one more card than them, and therefore we may not want to play anything here, except we could go Sukrus Arnaghad, and I think their Adrenaline will pretty much immediately kick in. It will, so that's kind of tempting. What if we try that here? It's a little bit bold, for sure, but it is intriguing. Because if this does work, it could shut down every subsequent card that they try to play. Let's throw down Leader ability as well. Make it a little more of an aggressive play. And it also gives Arnaghad additional armor. That's another reason why I wanted to do it, because now, even if they do have a way to shut down Sukrus, it's still going to be a bit of a challenge to take down Arnaghad. Giving him bleed doesn't matter as long as Sukrus is still up. The real question is, can they get rid of Sukrus? Osrel may be powerful enough to survive this damage. It will. But they do not pass us here. We could go with Portal. We could go with Portal to get out some additional points here, and even after we likely pass in our next turn, this will have the chance of summoning in additional points. To tell you the truth, I mean, Regis does potentially have some targets here in the melee row. That's not going to work for them, but yeah, I think we pass here. And we just dare them to try to somehow keep pace when Arnaghad is on the board and protected by Sukrus. And we still have a pretty sizable lead here. They can apply bleed to the other cards. The deploy abilities will have time to work, but here's the other thing is the portal will summon in the Armored Drakkar. Arnaghad, it's an odd mixture of Wild Hunt and other stuffs, but getting the Winter Queen out there might be just enough for them. Oh, just barely enough, but they do go a card down. Okay, did we not get the other Shieldmaien out from our deck? We did not. Okay, so this is a dead card. Self-damage on the Dracoturtle, I think that can work. Offering to the Sea also helps with all you guys. Regis, we're going to see if we can get a nice finish with him. Arnaghad, I mean, they got rid of Winter Queen already. I think we just go Dracoturtle, because you're basically setting that up for us. So we want this to get damaged. Crimson Curse is gonna get rid of the Frost. I mean, Bleed doesn't really work on Dracoturtle, unfortunately. I think we probably still do go Hermit here, though. It does mean we're gonna take more self-damage, but these are both technically cards that we want to get self-damaged. Okay, so now we probably want to go Dagur next in the melee row, which means we'll have just enough time for this Frost to go away. Unseen Elder is unfortunate. They do have Devotion. We go Dagur now. Next turn, I think we'll be Offering to the Sea, and then it'll be Regis as a finisher. We're hoping that he'll have enough damage units that we might be able to chain a little bit of Regis action. Speaking of Regis, though, this is a weird combo, isn't it? But it might be just enough to work for them. So now let's go, yes, Offering to the Sea. Well, maybe not Offering to the Sea, because unfortunately that would destroy Dagur, which is obviously not what we want. So I don't know if this is going to be enough. Offering to the Sea, yes, but is that sufficient? After all of the damage, apparently, the answer is yes. Alright, so going up against Skellige here, and they'll go first. Okay, so one Shieldmaien, that's good. A lot of cards that we want to get damaged, but not a lot of ways to damage them is what's catching my attention here. So let's get rid of a Drakkar. And let's get rid of maybe an Adept as well. More cards that want to get damaged. Still not really much in the way of self-damage. They'll go Covenant of Steel first in the melee row. That makes me think they might be going with Dagur. Let's go Portal first. And we're kind of hoping that we get, not that, but a Hermit out here, because that would give us some self-damage, where otherwise we would be lacking unless they happen to bail us out a bit here and give us some self-damage. I guess at that point it's not self-damage, but you know what I mean. Okay, Messenger of the Sea, so yes, Rain. What do we want to get hit here? I think... Let's go Shieldmaien for the thinning, first and foremost. Oh! They have Sunset Wanderers. That's a little bit of a surprise. Melusine. That's not a surprise, given how we've seen them use a lot of rain already. Okay. That gets our other Shieldmaien out. And I'm thinking we might want to keep this to a minimum here in round 1. What if we just go Warcrier as a bit of a throwaway, or we could even have gone Drakkar in the range row, I suppose, and hope that happened to get damaged by the rain, but we do get our Hermit summoned out from our deck, so we're not entirely out of this, but this does give us the, would have given us the self-damage that we would be looking for, except that the thing is, it's, when it gets summoned, not going to trigger its deploy damage, so I think we do actually want to keep this round really short. Minimize the amount of boost that Melusine gets. Their Sunset Wanderer is close to coming out, but not quite yet. Okay. Okay, we did get Svalblod Priest. That's good, because that finally gives us at least some self-damage, but we probably would still like to have a little more than that. Let's get rid of the Drakkar, and that gives us more. Okay, so that suddenly makes this hand much more well-balanced. They did play one more card than us. Will they dry pass here? They will. What is our best throwaway in that case? That's actually kind of a hard question to answer. It might be one of these priests. I know we were saying we really needed the self-damage. We do still have some. But that is, of course, all we need for round 2. Okay, and, I mean, Warcrier might not be a bad idea. We do have Sukrus plus Arnaghad. That is nice. Still would kind of like more self-damage if possible. I know we just played some of it. Let's get rid of you. Wild Boar of the Sea, that is nice. We'll probably stick with this then. And we might be relying a little bit on them damaging some of our cards, since they're Skellige. They definitely do have damage. Okay, Eldritch Thunder is enough to get rid of that. There is the Sunset Wanderers. So I think we might want to play one of our self-damaging cards here, like the Dracoturtle. And that way, if they were planning on dealing more damage, that might cause a bit of an issue for them. Lucusia will put some rain on this row, in all likelihood, unless they go Melusine. They did not. So this is fine. In fact, we might even deliberately put Olaf here as well now. We're, of course, hoping that they don't proceed to have something like a red haze, but otherwise, both these cards getting damage from them, it's helpful. They're doing some self-damage. We will likely play our Svalblod Priest next. So let's do that. And with some good timing, we could use this. Have Melusine as a target for Regis. Make sure that we have a few rounds of his deployability going, which would mean that would be our next play. We also want to set this up pretty soon. Make sure that we at least have Sukrus down. Because yes, on our next turn we can go with Arnaghad. Wagenberg to give armor. Okay. So this is no longer, no longer going to be a great Regis target. Let's do this. And let's do this. The Arnaghad plus Sukrus combo. Use leader ability first so we get more damage units out there. Giving Arnaghad armor and also potentially setting up a bigger Regis. Now we do have a card that Regis will destroy. Oh, but then that armor is going to be just enough to stop Fukushia from going down at the end of this turn, isn't it? That's not really going to matter. Oh, but they're damaging as well? Okay, yes, definitely Regis here. Maybe some additional patience, just to see if we might have gotten something even better. Could have potentially been worth it, but we also, mind you, do have Wild Boar of the Sea. Could still be a factor. Olaf's getting pretty damaged here, I think. Matter Wild Boar of the Sea or Bear Witcher Mentor. I guess we'll go Mentor. A lot of boost in this melee row. We should definitely play this in the range row. I don't want to play anything next to Sukrus and potentially make it easier for them to take Sukrus out. We're also going to want to use Olaf very soon, obviously. Okay. I think... Let's use... I'm a little worried about them damaging Olaf. And we'll go... I guess we'll go Wild Boar of the Sea now. We'll finish with you. Obviously could have done that in the other order. Either way, probably would have worked. But they still have not found a way to shut down Arnaghad. So units, they can't really play them. They can't really play them. They've been stuck just trying to get some damaging specials down here. So now that means we use Bear Witcher Mentor as our finisher here. 8 points, ideally would have been a little higher than that, but still, we're looking at 40-plus point lead here. Do they have a way to make that happen? Certainly not with Little Halfroot. It'll go down to Arnaghad, so we'll take the win. Alright, so going up against Nilfgaard here, and we'll go first. Okay, so let's see. We have some self-damage. We have some cards that we want to get damaged. That's nice. I'm thinking 2 Warcriers is probably overkill. More cards that we want to have self-damage on? Well, I mean, now we have a lot of self-damage, maybe more than we need, but okay. We probably just won't play them all in this round. Let's start with the Longship. No, we actually might want to save that for a future round in which we have Dagur, ideally, and just go straight into the self-damage here. Well, down goes the Longship. So we have time to reconsider those things now. Why don't we go Dracoturtle that way, even if they do want to deal damage to us? It is, well, it's only going to help us. That is Enslave 7. Pretty big. Pretty big. Let's go Hermit now. Help set up that Dracoturtle. It's another Venendal Elite. And they don't have any damaged units at the moment. We might be going for Olaf here. And then play the Hermit or the Svalblod Priest in this row. Fire Scorpion will give them some damage, although they don't really have a good target for that damage right now. Another Fire Scorpion. Now it's getting a little awkward for us. Guess we'll go Svalblod Priest as well. Flip this. It does mean that they actually have a viable target for the damage, as would be the Priest, I suppose. But I'm thinking next turn could end up being Coded Weapons, get rid of the Svalblod Priest. Sure, I mean, it does kind of help us get an additional copy of it, but we could either go... It's probably Bear Witcher Mentor here. It's probably Bear Witcher Mentor. That theoretically might have been the last card we were going to play. It might have been worth using Olaf there, unless we're going to go Leader Ability. Then that would set up the Warcrier, but it's a little late for that Warcrier. They're going to steal the Dracoturtle. Okay, so I think we'll go Offering to the Sea. It is going to damage you, and therefore boost you up a bit. Let's make sure we use Olaf there, because that very well could end up being the last card that we play. Imperial Diplomacy, well, they do have a lot of charges here with the Fire Scorpions. Is that enough for them? Oh, they tried to play at the end of their turn, and in doing so, they damaged themselves. So, I mean, we do have damage units out. So, yes, the Warcrier can get boosted. It's still going to be a little late in the round to do that. Okay, then Jan. It's probably enough of a point slam still, especially because they can use these remaining charges there. Wild Boar of the Sea does work, though, so I think we use it. Again, unfortunate they stole the Dracoturtle from us, because the damage does backfire a little bit when we're hitting that. But can they catch us here? They may be able to. They need 9 points. They don't do it, though, so we'll take the round 1 win. Okay, we draw into Arnaghad, which is actually very intriguing. We do have this combo here, which is something, but I think we'll probably still get rid of you. Greatsword, I mean, can work. Maybe we don't want you since we played so much self-damage in round 1. If we had Sukrus here, I would consider going with Arnaghad plus Sukrus in round 2, but without that, I don't think it's worth it. They did also use their leader ability despite losing round 1. See, oh, going nil? That's odd. Very odd. Okay, losing Dagur is unfortunate, yes, but we still have some good cards remaining here. Also, that was almost not even enough points for them to win that round. Came very close. Okay, we did draw into Sukrus. That is very big. We technically do have some self-damaging combos here, but I'm not sure that's good enough to warrant inclusion. I don't think we have played this Shieldmaien yet. That's a little bit unfortunate there. But, let's see. 5, 4... Yeah, we actually want to go straight into Arnaghad Sukrus, don't we? Yeah, that being said, it was going to be pretty obvious that that was the plan, and so if they had an assassination, which they did, it was going to be sufficient, so I think in that case, we're going to wait a little bit on Arnaghad. We might play him on one of our last turns. That's unfortunate that they have the defender. Let's go probably Greatsword next, because then it'll have more time to heal up. Letho into another one of these Longships. Well, tell you what, it's not the end of the world if we go with the Shieldmaien, because then it'll take damage, yes, but it will summon out the other one. So then it's probably Arnaghad next, and then Regis. Oh, what's the difference in our deck sizes here? Well, Longship shuts it down anyway, so it doesn't matter much. Let's go Arnaghad. Actually, technically we should... Technically you should go leader ability first, but I was just wary of us not having enough time to go leader ability, go through the animation for that, and then play Arnaghad. You want to do leader ability first because it does give Arnaghad additional armor, since there'd be more damage units out there. So it does mean that it's not going to be quite as effective as it would otherwise be, but there you have it. We've already won. We obviously could go leader ability to set up Regis here, but that's not needed. So we'll take the win. So there's a look at a Skellige deck for the new Battle Rush seasonal event. If you liked the video, then make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment down below to let me know which other cards, archetypes, and factions you'd like us to experiment with next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.